who is in the mathematics department at Vanderbilt University, and the topic is the story of the Black Panther Party. And Dr. Farley, before we had our first commercial break, you were giving us sort of a summary, an overview of the story of the Black Panther Party. And let's continue that by allowing you during this second segment to talk about the significance of that party. Why was that party important? And let's do it perhaps to talk about the social significance. I think you've already alluded to some of the things that the party was involved in, but in a more organized fashion. As a mathematician, let's have you to talk about the social significance of that organization, and then perhaps say something about the political significance of it.
Well, as you pointed out before, there was a connection between the Black Panther Party and the Civil Rights Movement. In fact, they got their name from the Lowndes County Freedom Democratic Party in Lowndes County, Alabama. Their symbol was the Black Panther. And in fact, in the summer of 1966, there were as many as 5 different groups across the country which were disconnected, which called themselves the Black Panther Party. But the party we're talking about was founded in October 1966 in Oakland, and Bobby Seale and Huey Newton chose the symbol because, and this addresses one of the myths surrounding the party, that the party was like a panther in that it wouldn't attack, it wasn't aggressive. So people have this idea that the Black Panthers were somehow aggressive and violent when they weren't. But if it was backed into a corner, then it would defend itself. And so the initial name of the party was the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. But socially, the Black Panthers realized that the problem wasn't simply curbing police brutality, monitoring the police to make sure that they didn't violate the civil rights of anyone, like we saw in 1992, or rather before that with Rodney King. But what they saw was that there was a holistic problem that black people faced, not just in this country, but worldwide. And not just black people either, but also brown people, yellow people. The war in Vietnam was raging. We had the Algerian War, which finished in 1962. And they saw a connection between all of these struggles, and they didn't cut themselves off even from white people. They're one of the only groups, in fact, which formed coalitions with white people. And there was the Peace and Freedom Party. Eldridge Cleaver, the Minister of Information, who was viewed as some sort of demon because of negative propaganda, actually formed active coalitions, and he was the 1968 presidential candidate for the mostly white Peace and Freedom Party. So socially, what the Black Panthers saw was we wanted, and you were talking about the black community, land, bread, housing, clothing, justice, and peace. And they implemented social programs in order to achieve those goals. For example, I mentioned the Free Breakfast for Children program. They saw that black children were going to school hungry, and so obviously they couldn't learn. So what did the Panthers do? They set up Free Breakfast for Children programs. Also, they set up free schools so that black children could learn about their own history and significance, socially, politically, and otherwise, in American society and in the whole world. What they also did was set up free health clinics. They saw most people were too poor to afford adequate health care. Even today, over 40 million Americans do not have health insurance. They set up free health clinics. In fact, many of the social programs that the Black Panthers implemented were taken over by the government, even though certain forces in the government, in particular J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI director, were trying to broadcast negative propaganda, untruths about what the party really was and what it's all about, which we need to correct today.
And so in a real sense, the Panther Party was almost the forerunner for what would eventually become known as the Great Society, because I think the Great Society sort of represented a large number of federal programs dealing Head Start and dealing with literacy and et cetera, as a response to that. And you're saying that the party, the Panther Party, was involved in that before it became a sort of a national thing to do?
Exactly. Now, there was no